Hi guys, this is Jeff from Railway City Hobbies, and today we're going to do a review on the Scaletrains C39-8. There was only two customers initially for these locomotives built by General Electric. They were Conrail and Norfolk Southern, Norfolk Southern owning 2/3 of the ones that are produced. They are available in Phase 1 and Phase 2 and Phase 3 options. So we're going to review a Norfolk Southern Phase 2, and we're also going to review a Conrail Phase 3, and later on we'll do the Pennsylvania Northeastern former Norfolk Southern, the patched one. So with that, we'll start off with the Norfolk Southern and its details. Alright, so we have the Norfolk Southern. This is a Phase 2. We're going to go through some of its detail. So we got MU hoses on the front, airline, train line there. A couple of cut levers with the yellow painted loops. Yellow painted handrails up to the deck, or the handrails up there, the walkway. You got a little separately applied grab iron there on the front. On the side, you got see-through walkways with a yellow painted edge as per prototype. Same on the other side here. You got separately applied wipers on the other side, and you got your number boards up here. Your number boards here. You got your headlights up there. You also have class lights on this locomotive, and you got grab irons on the top side of the short hood and two sand filler hatches. Funny thing about these locomotives, or for Norfolk Southern, is if you look at the back here, we have the front. These ran from as delivered, long hood forward. So when you're using this, when you want it to go forward, it's actually going to go in reverse. That's one of the interesting facts about Norfolk Southern. So going to the side of this locomotive, you got your dynamic brake exhausts here. You have see-through grills here and by the radiator, metal etched grills. You got metal etched, not see-through here, all the way down the side of this locomotive. Your air intake grill there. Your fuel neck there, and the sight glass there. All your underbody detail, like all your wiring and plumbing for this locomotive. Your air tank there. Your sanding line here. On the truck, you can see there's a nice casting in the truck on the front and the back there. And wheel cylinders, there's your speed recorder right there. Lots of little warning labels on the sill here. More labeling on the sill. On the rear of this locomotive, again, you have a plow, because this is actually this is the forward end. So you got again MU hoses, train line, your battery MU hose here, a couple of cut levers, a handrail. Now, if you look really closely at the end of the pointer, you see that, and this on the other side. That is again your class lights. The lit number boards, and your Your pilot light, separately applied grabs going down the back of this, or front of this locomotive. It's really screwing me up because I always assumed this would be the rear, but this is actually the front end. And around to this other side here, and you got, again, more see-through grill work on this side. Metal etch grills on the in around here. And we'll look at the piping on this side. So on the front here you have your two-piece brake chain. And again, you can see some stamping information on this truck, plus your sanding line, and same on the rear here. And you get your sanding line down there and here. And you can see from the bottom that these step treads are see-through. They're perforated. And you got your, again, fuel tank your cyclast detail and your fuel neck detail. And on the top of this locomotive, you have two Sinclair antennas. The Norfolk Southern used 3-fan high capacity dynamic fans for its dynamic brake. And you got your 5-chime horn of the rear here, and your exhaust, and a 6-panel radiator on the back. So with that, we'll do the run by on this so we can see the detail up close in slow motion, so you can see from both sides and the above. And we'll be right back with the Conrail. Alright, so now we have the Conrail unit here. This is a phase 3. So we got MU hose on the front, your snowplow with the white painted hands, the grab irons on it, or the lift rails, your airline here, white painted coupler cut levers, white painted handrails going up to the deck. A Conrail specific is these L-shaped grab irons on either side of the locomotive, as well as a you got white painted grab irons in the front. You have a small grab iron here, and you got your brake wheel on this. Same location as the Norfolk Southern. At the top you have the red marker lights. They only illuminate red, unlike the Norfolk Southern, which go white, green, and red. On your steps, they again, they're see-through perforated steps, and you got white paint on the very edge here. On the top you can see your Sinclair antenna here, and also you have a Sinclair end of train antennae. See-through grill work in the rear here by the rad fan, or the rad face. Separately applied little metal etched grill work here. There. A 2-fan exhaust here for your dynamic brake. Conrail used open wheel bearing truck, so these wheel bearings do turn when the locomotive is in operation. And again, you get your standing lines. Let's take a little bit. There you go. Air tank detail. Fuel detail there. On the rear, you got MU hoses, your train line hose, coupler cut levers, grab irons going down the rear of the locomotive. There's a little small grab iron here by the sand filler hatch. Again, on the rear you got perforated steps, and the last step is white trim paint on it, or just on the face of it. Same on the opposite side. You got class lights that are located down in here, so here and just down in there. That's where your class lights are. You'll see this later in the video. And see-through grill work here, and more metal etched grills there. And on top, and on this side you'll see there are, again, you have your wheel bearing, roller bearings, roller bearing trucks, where you can visibly see the roller bearings turn as it moves. Your brake chain, your standing line, the speed recorder, again right here, and on the trucks you can see there is some writing like cast in on the prototype truck, and that has been replicated in on this model. Again, as well on the rear here you can see the cast on the truck frame. And on the roof of this locomotive, you can see metal etched grill exposing the two standard duty or standard fans, unlike the Norfolk Southern that has 3. Your end of train antennae, and your regular Sinclair communication antennae, a Leslie 3-chime horn, the bathtub exhaust port, and a 6-panel radiator. And there's your sand hatch in the back with a little grab there. And on the front you can see the grab irons painted white here with sand filling hatches in the front. So we're going to do the slow run by for this locomotive, and then we'll be showing the Pennsylvania Northeastern, the patched out Norfolk Southern version, and then we'll listen to the sounds. So we'll be right back with the Pennsylvania Northeastern. So let's take a look at this, the Pennsylvania Northeastern, formerly a Norfolk Southern. As you can see in the front here, you can see the patch out where they took the Norfolk Southern horse head off. So you got your ditch lights on the front here, down below the anti-climber. You got your MU hoses and your train line hose there. You got your couple of cut levers on the other side. You got your painted handrail going up to the walkway up here. On the edge of the step treads is yellow, as you can see here. You got grab irons on the top of each side of this locomotive. You got sanding hatches on the top. Lit number boards on the top here at the front. And from the side, your dynamic fan exhausts there. Intake filter there. Roller bearing trucks. This one would be a roller bearing truck here. You can't see that one. That would be the, it looks like the speed recorder on there. On the back, you'd have a roller bearing truck there and there. Got your standing lines down there. As an aside here, you can again see that the Norfolk Southern has been patched out, and on the sill there are diagonal, I want to call them diagonal stripes on the sill. On top you can see the Sinclair antenna there, and you also see the EOT antenna on the front, the end of train antenna. And on the rear, up top, we'll cover this later, again standing hatch and grab irons. You got grab irons going down the back of the hood, long hood here. These are all separately applied. Ditch lights on the rear. Again, your train line, your MU hoses, your train line on this side here. Spare knuckle holders You also have what it looks like down here is your walkway light. It isn't functioning. LED lighting for the ditch lights front and back, and also the number boards are lit on the back as well, plus your pilot light. And on this side here, see-through. You also have see-through grills in the radiator area on the back. 5-chime antenna on top, 5-chime horn on top. Again, air intake grills, like the filter there. You can see there's your air reservoir here. We'll lift this up and you can see the underbody detail, all the piping on the underside here. A lot of piping. You can see your brake cylinders on this one's here, and sanding lines. You can see your brake chain here, which is it's metal and it's 2-piece, so you're able to get the actual body off. And your fuel tank with the actual gauge there. Another antennae. Offhand, I couldn't tell you which antenna that is. A nice feature about these locomotives, like the other ones, is on the top you have an actual see-through dynamic fan area here. This is a two-headed. There also are 3 ones, as you've seen before in earlier models. So let's get this on the track, and we'll do a couple run-bys with this. So we'll be right back. So this locomotive comes factory equipped with Locksound's version 4 sound decoder. This also comes factory equipped with a Keep Alive system. All the DCC Sound ones have it equipped. So we're going to go through some of the lighting. So we'll turn on the lights here. So that's your headlight there. Your ditch lights. And we're going to turn on the prime mover. Alright, so the startup sequence is done. So So when I put this in reverse, both the headlight and the ditch lights will go out. When you sound the horn, the ditch lights will alternate. F1 is your bell. F3 is your coupler clank. So this doesn't have class lights, so there's no class lights we can show on this one. We'll show it on the Conrail unit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to engage the drive hold, and we're going to listen for all the actual different notches. So this is notch 1. That's notch 2. That's notch 3. This is notch 4. Notch 5. Should be notch 6. That should be notch 7. Sorry, my apologies. That's off notch 8. Must have missed a notch in between there somewhere. Alright, we'll bring it back down to idle. Alright, so we're back idling and we're going to do the shutdown sequence. Alright, and now we're going to turn the locomotive around. Actually, we're going to demonstrate the keep alive. So, at this moment here, I've turned off the actual system. And it's still on, and it goes off on its own. So it does have a little bit of, well, a good way of demonstrating is just by picking it up. So that is the keep alive. So now we're going to turn it around so that we can show the rear lights on this locomotive. Okay, so put it in reverse. So we'll be right back. Alright, so now we're going to go through the lighting for the Conrail. We heard the sounds of the prime mover from the Pennsylvania Northeastern. So we're just going to go through some of the unique stuff for the Conrail. So we're pointing forward right now, or the locomotive is set to go forward. So we're going to use the horn, which is F2, to hear the Leslie 3-chime horn. So F5 does the marker lights to turn the marker lights on red. So this is going forward, so as part of the end of the train or a DPU designation, like for the settings, if this is going forward, then the rear lights, both red class lights will illuminate and the rear headlight will illuminate, but in a dim condition. So we're going to enable F5, which is the marker lights. So the headlight goes out and the back lights turn on. So I'm going to have it so that the locomotive is going to run in reverse, and now the marker lights are illuminated and the headlight is running on dim. And we'll flip this around so you can see the other side of it. Another nice feature about these locomotives, or these Scaletrains, is they have a keep alive in them. So now we're going to put it back to going forward, and now you can see that the rear class lights are illuminated and the light is headlight is dim. So that is the lighting features for this locomotive, and we'll get the Norfolk Southern in just a moment. Alright, now we're going to go through some of the special lighting features for the Norfolk Southern C39-8. So again, we got the headlight. Now F5, as said before about class lights, F5 will turn on class lights. So one click of F5, class lights are white. Another click, and they turn green. Hit F5 again, and they turn red, and then F5, they go out again. So this is similar to how the Bowsers work, and also for the SD40s with class lights, these are how they work. So we're going to spin it around so you can see the back lights as well. To get it on the rails. Okay, so going forward, again, long hood forward, white, green, red, and then off again. And we'll sound the 5-chime horn. So that is all the different lighting features for this locomotive, and so at this point now we're going to weigh it and we'll do a pull test. We'll be right back. Alright, so now we're going to do our pull test. So we'll start our first pull. So the first pull is 90 grams. I got 95 at the end there. Second pull. And another 90. Okay, and last pull. And we got a 95. So somewhere around 90 to 95 is your pull bar on this. And now go forward. And we have a 95 on the push. Okay, give it some slack. Second push. Another, oh, we're up to 100 grams now. Okay. And last one. And we got up to 105 now. 110. I think this is an odd result. We're going to do it one more time though. And take the slack off. Okay. And go. Yep, we got it up to 100 grams, so we're getting results of around 100 grams to 105 with this locomotive going in forward, and around 95 with it going in reverse. Now keep in mind we're talking long hood is forward in these locomotives. Still that is comparable, if not actually it is better than what a Bowser ST40 does. But it's not quite to the Tier 4 Gevo, but it also, I can just tell by handling it, it also doesn't weigh what a Tier 4 GE Gevo does. So we'll be right back and we'll weigh it up, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. The Scaletrains C39-8 weighs in at 574 grams or 20.2 ounces. Which would give it, if we're going in grams, it gives it from, for every 6 grams, it gives 1 gram of pulling capacity, so it's a 6-to-1 pull bar, which is very, very good. It's what we actually come to expect nowadays in our model trains. Scaletrains has done a really good job, especially on the Conrail versions, identifying the different ones. Like example, the Conrail quality one that would be 6018. The paint scheme for that, the small identification features like that, the little L for lease service, the roller bearing trucks, the keep alive, the version 4 lockdown decoders, and all the different lighting functions that each locomotive has, individual characteristics to their prototype, and they're all represented as they should be. And again, this is another great quality model from Scaletrains, and the reason why we couldn't show some of the other ones, like the Conrail version of the Pennsylvania Northeastern, is because we sold out already, and the actual the Pennsylvania Northeastern is also gone, so we couldn't show it in the earlier part of this video. So that's it for this video. It's the Scaletrains C39 is if you're looking for it, if you're modeling the 80s, which these represent before the CSX takeover of Conrail and before the ditch lights, this is a great representation of what they call the Hunchback C30, Hunchback GEs. Mainly specifically because this air cabinet here goes up above the roof, which is different than most of the dash 40 dash 840s. We have a busy week of videos coming up. We have the Athearn Genesis 60E to review. We're going to do a short review on the Rapido mid-domes that just got released. So we have a bunch of videos, so stay tuned, and please feel free to comment. Let me know if I've missed anything or what you think of the video. And with that, thank you for watching. Happy modeling.